Right now on News 4 at 6, questions are swirling around an officer-involved shooting in Buffalo. We're live with major developments in the case.
Plus, police body cams. Why officers here in Buffalo don't have them, and could they have helped in the investigation into the officer-involved shooting?
And Sentencing Day, why a former doctor won't spend any time in the slammer for illegally obtaining painkillers.
A determination was made by the Attorney General's office to assert jurisdiction in this matter under the executive order because there is a significant question as to whether or not the civilian was armed or unarmed.
New information is coming to light, calling into question how a Buffalo police officer was hurt on the job and why a 26-year-old man was shot and killed. Good evening. Police are still saying that Officer Joseph Aquino was shot in the ear on Sunday in Black Rock.
But sources tell us doctors say the wound might have come from something else. We have team coverage tonight. Callan Gray is looking into why Buffalo police officers don't have body cameras. But first, we begin with News 4's Dave Graber. He's live in Buffalo with the latest on the case. Dave?
Well, Don, good evening. Almost exactly 3 days after a chaotic scene unfolded on the streets of Black Rock, there are dual investigations into exactly how Buffalo police officer Joseph Aquino nearly lost an ear and whether the fatal shooting of the 26-year-old suspect was justified. As we reported yesterday, the state attorney general's office will be leading this investigation after, quote, significant questions were raised about whether that suspect, Jose Hernandez Rossi, actually had a gun on him at the time of this incident. But as you mentioned, still tonight, both Aquino and his department believe that Aquino was shot and that it was Hernandez Rossi who pulled the trigger. This despite the fact that doctors who treated Aquino at ECMC are now saying that Aquino's injury could have happened by something other than a gunshot. Those key questions and others will be answered by the Attorney General in the coming weeks and months. Here's what led up to Officer Aquino's injury. Police tried to pull over Jose Hernandez Rossi on Garfield Street. With Aquino at the driver's side window, Rossi starts to drive away. When Aquino grabs the wheel, the two struggle and the SUV is eventually steered off the road and into a house. When it crashes, the airbag goes off with Aquino's head still in the car. Now, Aquino believes that he's been shot. Rossi gets out of his SUV and is shot by Aquino's partner, Officer Justin Tedesco. Buffalo police immediately contact the Erie County DA's office and the Attorney General's office within 15 to 20 minutes of this incident happening. That's a step they didn't have to take, especially that early in the investigation. Erie County DA John Flynn addressed the media today after the investigation was handed over to the state, and you'll be hearing from Tom Burton, the attorney for Officer Justin Tedesco.
Based upon what I have learned so far, Officer Aquino thought he was shot. And the Buffalo Police Department had no reason to think otherwise initially. However, after the course of our investigation over the past 48 hours, significant questions now exist as to whether or not that's true.
It's not whether or not a gun is found. It's whether or not this officer reasonably believed that his partner had been shot. Multiple witnesses to the ear injury. You don't fake a 3-hour surgery to reattach that to your head. A number of other witnesses heard the officer screaming for help, saying I had been shot. That's plenty reasonable grounds for this officer who did fire to try to prevent this guy from getting away.
Now, for the past couple of days, Buffalo police have been scouring the streets of that Black Rock neighborhood looking for any evidence of that gun. At this point, none has been found. Also, sources close to the state investigation tell us that they have received multiple calls from witnesses who say they did not see Rossi with any kind of a gun. Meanwhile, Officer Joseph Aquino was interviewed by Buffalo police earlier today. That is the first time that he has been interviewed since, again, this chaotic scene unfolded on Sunday afternoon. Reporting live downtown, Dave Graber, News 4 at 6.